Do you ever wonder why some people walk into a room and command attention without uttering a single word? It's not magic. It's not luck. It's mindset, cultivated through deliberate action, repetition, and unwavering self-belief. The Stoics taught that our internal state shapes our external reality, much like a sculptor shapes raw marble into a masterpiece with steady hands and a clear vision. Imagine approaching every situation with the quiet assurance of someone who has already conquered the challenges ahead, as if every obstacle is merely another stepping stone toward mastery. What if instead of waiting for confidence to appear, you decided to act as if you already possess it, even in the face of uncertainty? This isn't about arrogance. It's about embracing the notion that confidence is forged through consistent effort, not wishful thinking. Act as if the Stoics would say, knowing that by doing so, you create your own momentum, your own path towards self-mastery. Momentum once created is difficult to stop, and momentum is a mindset. Honed by deliberate action and resilience, confidence becomes like a flame flickering at first, but growing stronger with each intentional step forward. The Stoics remind us that waiting for the perfect moment is like standing under a dark sky, hoping for the storm to pass, never realizing you have the power to dance in it anyway. Life, with all its unpredictability, does not grant us control over circumstances, only over our reactions. So ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped hesitating and started stepping into each moment like you already belong? It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about unlocking the version of you that grows through deliberate action, through facing fear head-on, and through walking confidently, even when the path ahead isn't fully clear. Confidence isn't built overnight. It's carved, moment by moment, from every choice you make, like a river slowly shaping the landscape through its persistence. Imagine a mountaineer climbing an unforgiving peak. Each step is deliberate, taken with care, yet filled with the quiet determination. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They move forward despite the wind and the cold, knowing that progress comes not from perfect clarity, but from unwavering resolve. This is how confidence is built, not in sudden bursts of courage, but in the steady accumulation of small, brave actions. Over time, the Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't preach perfection. They preached persistence as slow and steady climb toward becoming the best version of oneself. Confidence, then, is like tending a fire. It starts as a spark, fragile and easily extinguished, but with care, attention, and steady fuel, it grows into a flame that can withstand the wind. The Stoics believed that this fire is within all of us, waiting to be nurtured. They taught that we must act as if we already possess the strength, even when doubt lingers in the background. This doesn't mean ignoring fear. It means recognizing it, acknowledging it, and choosing to move forward anyway. Each moment you act in the face of fear, you feed that fire, turning a flicker into a blaze. So how will you choose to act today? Will you wait for confidence to magically appear, or will you create it through action, step by deliberate step? The Stoics remind us that the journey toward becoming the best version of ourselves begins not with grand gestures, but with small, consistent choices made each day. Choose to act as if you are already capable. Choose to face challenges with the quiet assurance that comes from knowing you are on the path to mastery. Because confidence isn't something we find, it's something we build. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, often reminded himself of the fleeting nature of life and how its brevity should drive us to act with purpose and conviction. He taught that in this brief existence, we have the power to define who we are by how we choose to act. Moment by moment life, according to Aurelius, is like a passing breeze. You can either stand, frozen waiting for a perfect gust, or spread your wings and let every current lift you higher. There is no waiting for the ideal opportunity, because time, relentless and indifferent, does not pause for hesitation. When you act as if you are the best, you don't need to boast or brag it. Your actions grounded in consistent effort and quiet determination will speak louder than any words ever could think of. The modern-day athlete who, before setting foot on the field, envisions every move, every victory, and even every setback. This mental preparation is key. Something the Stoics inherently understood, even without the formal methodologies of today's sports psychologists. They knew that mental rehearsal creates a foundation for excellence, one where every action is deliberate and every choice purposeful. To act boldly in life, Aurelius believed, required confronting our mortality. Head on, you could leave life right now, he said. Let that stark truth push you to live with courage, to seize every moment without hesitation, and to approach each day as an opportunity to leave nothing undone in this fleeting existence. There's no time for timid steps. There's only the urgency to act as if you are already the person you strive to become, because becoming begins with doing. But acting as if you are the best doesn't mean ignoring your imperfections or pretending to be flawless. The Stoics were pragmatists. They acknowledged human flaws, but didn't let those flaws become excuses for inaction. Aurelius believed in facing oneself honestly, yet without surrendering to despair. Imagine life as an ever-revolving canvas where every brushstroke, whether perfect or imperfect, adds to the final masterpiece. When you act with purpose, every decision you make becomes a color on that canvas, creating depth and meaning, regardless of the mistakes along the way. Think again of the modern athlete who doesn't only visualize success, but also embraces failure as part of the journey. The Stoics would say that the act of striving itself, whether in success or setback, is what shapes us into who we are meant to be. It's not perfection, but persistence that marks the path to greatness. The urgency Aurelius spoke of is not just about seizing opportunities, it's about fully inhabiting the present. The fleeting nature of life serves not to induce panic, but to inspire presence. Imagine a sunset, beautiful precisely because it doesn't last. We cherish its colors because we know they will soon fade. In the same way, the brevity of life urges us to act with intention. Don't wait for confidence to find you. Build it by stepping forward, even when you feel unprepared. Every moment spent waiting is a moment lost, a potential brushstroke on your canvas. Left unmade, confidence, like any skill, is cultivated through deliberate action, through doing, before you feel entirely ready. Aurelius taught that it is in the doing, not the waiting, that we transform into the person we aspire to be. Consider once more the idea of living boldly, with purpose even in the face of uncertainty. The Stoics recognized that uncertainty is not a barrier to action, but a constant companion on the path of life. Life's unpredictable nature is akin to a vast, ever-changing landscape. You don't wait for the landscape to become familiar. You step forward and explore. Learning as you go by, acting as if you are already the best version of yourself, you begin to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. The Stoics would remind us that greatness is not an end state, but an ongoing process, a continuous unfolding, driven by deliberate choices and unwavering resolve. What stops most people from acting confidently is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. The Stoics would argue that these fears are nothing more than shadows cast by our own minds, illusions that lose their power when confronted directly. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them, a profound insight into the human psyche. He likened fear to a cloud passing overhead. It looms large for a moment, but it eventually drifts away when you act as if you are the best. You aren't denying fear. You're acknowledging its presence while choosing not to be controlled by it. Think of fear as a barking dog behind a fence. You don't need to run from it. You just need to keep walking. knowing it cannot truly harm you unless you allow it to. Every time you choose to act, despite fear, you weaken its hold and strengthen your own resolve. Fear, like any emotion, thrives on attention. The more you dwell on it, the more it grows, casting longer and darker shadows over your actions. But if you meet it with calm acceptance, it loses its grip. Imagine standing on the edge of a diving board, heart pounding, mind racing with what-ifs. The moment you leap, fear dissolves, replaced by exhilaration and a sense of accomplishment. This is what the Stoics understood, that fear is often at its strongest just before action, and that taking the leap is the only way to diminish its power. Epictetus would remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward, regardless when you act as if you are the best. You tell fear it has no authority over your choices. In modern times, thinkers like Massimo Pigui echo these ancient ideas, emphasizing that fear is a natural part of life, but need not be a limiting force. They suggest reframing fear as a signal that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, where growth happens by acting as if you are already the person you want to become. You begin to rewire your brain, creating new pathways of confidence. Picture a path through a dense forest. At first, it's overgrown and difficult to navigate, but each step you take clears the way, making it easier to traverse next time. This is how acting, despite fear, transforms you. With each step you carve out a clearer path towards self-assurance. Modern Stoic thinkers like Mimo Pigui remind us that acting as if you are the best is about aligning your actions with your values and maintaining integrity, even when no one is watching. It's not about external validation. It's about internal conviction. The quiet confidence that comes from living in accordance with your highest principles. It is the kind of confidence that grows silently, much like the roots of a mighty tree spreading beneath the soil, unseen yet essential. When you carry yourself with the poise of someone who believes deeply in their purpose, others will naturally gravitate toward you, drawn not by boastful words, but by your unwavering presence, a presence rooted in consistency and authenticity. Imagine Imin walking through a dense fog where visibility is limited, and each step forward requires trust in yourself. The path may be unclear, but the Stoics emphasize that trusting your process is what truly matters. Every step, even the hesitant ones, builds a foundation of resilience that trust in yourself cultivated through daily practice, reflection, and disciplined action becomes your guiding light. In uncertain times, think of how a lighthouse stands firm amidst turbulent waves, offering direction. Even when the surrounding sea is chaotic, just as the lighthouse never wavers in its purpose. Acting as if you are the best means remaining steadfast, regardless of external chaos. This is what the Stoics aimed for, a grounded presence that inspires both yourself and those around you. Not through grand declarations, but through consistent, purposeful action over time. Consider how small, deliberate actions, repeated daily, can lead to monumental transformation. Each disciplined action, like a drop of water carving stone, gradually shapes who you become. Moreover, acting as if you are the best involves embracing both uncertainty and imperfection. The Stoics did not demand flawlessness. They encouraged progress. Pigul Uchi suggests that living by your values means acknowledging the journey with all its detours as part of your growth. Imagine a traveler lost in an unfamiliar forest who, despite the disorientation, continues forward, guided by an internal compass. This compass is your commitment to personal integrity. And even when the path twists unexpectedly, it keeps you moving in the right direction. Trusting in this inner compass is what allows you to act as if you are already capable, even before you fully feel it. So how do you embody this mindset in your daily life? Begin by identifying the principles you hold, most dear principles like courage, discipline, and perseverance. Then align your actions with those values. Step by step, choice by choice, you may not see immediate results, but over time, your efforts will solidify into a quiet strength that speaks louder than any external validation. The Stoics remind us that mastery is not achieved in a single moment, but is the result of continuous, deliberate practice, much like the steady rhythm of waves shaping the shore. Your repeated efforts gradually mold you into the best version of yourself. Identify what the best version of yourself would do in any given situation. Would they procrastinate, or would they take the initiative? Would they complain, or would they find a solution? The Stoics believed in the power of small, deliberate actions. Well-being is realized by small steps, Epictetus said, but it is truly no small thing. Each choice you make either reinforces your potential or diminishes it. Choose wisely when you encounter setbacks, and you will remember that they are part of the process. The Stoics didn't view obstacles as reasons to quit. They saw them as opportunities to grow, refine their character, and practice their virtues. The impediment to action advances action, said Marcus Aurelius. What stands in the way becomes the way of philosophy rooted in resilience and adaptability. Think of a river meeting a boulder. It doesn't stop. It flows around or over it, gradually shaping the stone itself over time. Even the hardest obstacles are worn down by the persistent and steady current. The river doesn't resist the challenge. It embraces it as part of its path, using it to carve a deeper, more profound course. When you act as if you are the best, you learn to flow with life's challenges, not fight against them. You begin to see obstacles not as barriers, but as essential elements in your journey. The Stoics believe that life's difficulties are necessary for growth, much like resistance in physical training builds strength. Imagine lifting a heavy weight. It is the strain, the resistance that ultimately makes you stronger. Acting as if you are the best requires this same mindset to confront difficulties head on, knowing they are shaping you into something greater. Moreover, setbacks test your commitment to your values. Anyone can stay on course when the road is smooth, but it is the rough patches that reveal your true character. Picture a sculptor working on a piece of marble. Each chip, each strike of the chisel reveals more of the figure hidden within. In the same way, every setback chips away at what is unnecessary, revealing a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. The Stoics would urge you to welcome these moments, not with dread, but with gratitude for the opportunity they present. As you continue on your path, remember that setbacks are temporary, but the lessons they teach are lasting. When you embrace obstacles as part of your journey, you not only move forward, but also gain the wisdom and strength to help others navigate their own challenges. You become like the river, not only shaping your own path, but also inspiring those around you to find their own way through life's inevitable difficulties. Acting as if you are the best is not about pretending to know everything. It's about being willing to learn and embracing the unknown with curiosity. Socrates, who greatly influenced Stoic thought, famously said, "I know that I know nothing." This humility is key, as it keeps us grounded while opening endless doors to growth. When you approach life with a learner's mindset, you don't merely seek knowledge, you cultivate wisdom by questioning assumptions and staying receptive to new ideas. Picture a student eager to absorb knowledge. Their hunger to learn sets them apart, not because they have all the answers, but because they seek them relentlessly, understanding that the journey of learning never truly ends. The best are not those who have arrived, but those who never stop moving forward, navigating life with a sense of wonder. Imagine an explorer venturing into uncharted territories. equipped not with certainty, but with the courage to discover this mindset. Championed by the Stoics, teaches us that real strength lies in adaptability and a commitment to continuous improvement. Acting as if you are the best means showing up each day ready to learn, unafraid of mistakes, and driven by the belief that every experience, whether triumphant or challenging, offers valuable lessons. Moreover, being willing to learn fosters resilience. Each setback becomes a stepping stone, each failure a lesson in disguise. When you act as if you are the best, you demonstrate an unyielding willingness to grow, turning every obstacle into an opportunity for deeper understanding. The Stoics believed that life's greatest teachers are not victories alone, but the trials that test our mettle. By adopting this perspective, you cultivate a mindset that propels you forward, no matter the circumstances. So ask yourself, what can I learn from today? Each moment holds potential for insight, if approached with humility and curiosity. The Stoics remind us that mastery is not a destination, but a perpetual journey. One paved by those who choose to learn at every turn, whether through success or failure. Those who act as if they are the best become students of life, continually evolving into greater versions of themselves. Ask yourself this: what story are you telling through your actions? The Stoics believed that character is revealed in how we live, not in what we say. If you act timidly, you tell the world you are unsure of your worth. But if you act boldly, you tell the world that you believe in your purpose and potential. Imagine life as a grand stage, and you are both the actor and the playwright. Every action, every decision adds another line to your story, a story that only you can shape. You can choose to play your role with hesitation, letting fear and doubt dictate your lines, or you can step forward with conviction, embodying the character you aspire to be. The Stoics would urge you to act as if you were destined for greatness, not by shouting your intentions, but by letting your actions speak louder than words too. The Stoics, bold action wasn't reckless bravado, it was thoughtful courage. They believed that each moment offers an opportunity to define who we are, not by grand declarations, but through steady, consistent deeds. Picture a stage actor performing night after night. The first performance might be filled with nerves, but with each repetition, they grow into their role eventually, commanding the stage with ease in life. We are all actors, rehearsing daily, refining our performance until we embody the greatness we seek. The Stoics understood that destiny is not something we wait for. It is something we create, one courageous act at a time. There is power in repetition. The Stoics practiced daily reflection to reinforce their principles, understanding that true mastery comes not from sporadic effort, but from deliberate practice over time. Modern psychologists echo this, emphasizing the importance of habits in shaping behavior and even rewiring the brain. When you consistently act as if you are the best, you're not merely pretending, you are laying down neural pathways that strengthen with each repetition, making confidence a natural state rather than a fleeting feeling. It's like planting seeds in a garden. At first, there's no visible sign of growth, and the soil appears unchanged. But beneath the surface, roots are forming, drawing nutrients, and preparing for the inevitable. Sprout with those seeds grow into something remarkable, flourishing into a thriving garden that stands as a testament to patience and perseverance. Don't underestimate the power of daily practice. No matter how small the action may seem, every consistent effort compounds over time, much like drops of water slowly filling a jar. Imagine the artist who spends years refining their craft. At first, the strokes are awkward, the lines uneven, but through daily repetition, those strokes become fluid, and the lines take on a life of their own. This is the process of mastery, the result of countless small actions, each one building upon the last. When you act as if you are the best, you're training yourself to see possibilities where others see limitations. It's not about immediate perfection. It's about persistent progress. Think of a stonecutter hammering away at a rock. The first strike may leave barely a mark, but with each successive blow, the stone begins to yield, and eventually it splits each strike. Alone seems insignificant, yet together they create a powerful transformation. This principle is why the Stoics placed such importance on routine and reflection. By repeatedly examining their actions and aligning them with their values, they ensured that progress was continuous and purposeful. Whether it's journaling at the end of the day or setting intentions in the morning, these small rituals of reflection serve as both anchors and compasses, guiding us toward the best version of ourselves. It's these daily distant actions that lead to monumental change, transforming us in ways we could never anticipate at the outset. Why wait to feel ready when you can start? Now, the Stoics didn't believe in perfect conditions. They believed in taking action despite uncertainty. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap, a mirage in the desert of indecision. The truth is, the perfect moment is an illusion crafted by fear and hesitation, a comforting excuse that keeps us stagnant and unsure. It's the person who acts, despite imperfections, who truly lives, not the one who stands idle waiting for clarity that may never come." Think of an artist standing before a blank canvas. They don't wait for the perfect inspiration. They start painting, trusting that the masterpiece will emerge through the process. Stroke by imperfect stroke. It's in the act of doing that creation happens, and each stroke, each decision brings them closer to their vision, turning hesitation into bold expression. The artist knows that waiting for ideal conditions means missing out on the magic of creation itself. Imagine a mountaineer about to ascend a steep, uncertain path. They don't wait for the weather to be perfect. They begin the climb, knowing that progress comes from each deliberate step, not from waiting for guarantees. They trust their preparation and resilience, knowing that confidence grows through action. This is the essence of Stoic thought: action in the face of uncertainty. The Stoics remind us that life doesn't grant us perfect clarity before we act. It offers opportunities disguised as challenges, and it is our response to those challenges that shapes who we become. So, how will you choose to act today? Will you wait for confidence to magically appear, or will you create it? Through action, confidence isn't a gift granted to the lucky few. It's a muscle built through deliberate, repeated effort. Imagine a potter at their wheel, shaping clay into form through steady, practiced hands. In the same way, when you act as if you are the best, you mold yourself into that person. Each movement, each careful adjustment of the clay brings it closer to its final form, a process of transformation built on persistence and intention, not perfection. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and act as if you are already the person you aspire to be, because in truth you are. You just need to let that version of yourself emerge through deliberate action. All it takes is the encourage to act like it, moment by moment, until it becomes second nature. Think of a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. Each strike reveals more of the hidden figure within each fragment, chipped away, bringing clarity to the emerging form. In the same way, each deliberate action you take uncovers more of your true potential, carving out the best version of yourself. Imagine standing before a vast U-shaped future, knowing that every action, no matter how small, brings you closer to mastery. The world won't wait for you to feel ready. So why should you? The time to act is now, not tomorrow, not later, because life is unfolding and every moment presents a chance to step closer to who you are meant to be. Don't stand idle in the gallery of life. Pick up your brush and paint the masterpiece only you can create. Life is not a rehearsal, it is a continuous act of creation where each bold stroke shapes your unique journey. Embrace the imperfections, they add depth, character, and meaning to your canvas. Welcome the uncertainty, for it is within uncertainty that growth truly begins. Trust that with each courageous step forward, you are moving closer to becoming the person you are destined to be. Picture an artist, blending colors, some vivid, some muted, all contributing to a richer, more vibrant whole. Life isn't about waiting for inspiration to strike. It's about creating something extraordinary through the act of showing up, through the daily decision to take action despite fear or doubt. So step forward, take action, and watch as your masterpiece unfolds, one courageous stroke at a time. Each deliberate move you make shapes not only your story, but inspires others to take up their brush and create their own masterpiece alongside you in a world full of hesitation. Be the one who dares to create boldly. Each stroke, each action ripples outward, reminding those around you that greatness isn't found in waiting. It's found in doing, in stepping forward, and in building a life of purpose and intention together. Our collective actions form a grand tapestry, one woven from countless individual masterpieces, each born from a moment of daring to begin.